I don't think you can debate Charlie Kirk. He's not a good faith debater. He has talking points, and then if you start to actually win, he just cuts you off. So I don't think. I mean, if it were in a situation like this, maybe
you need a moderator.
You need a moderator, but you can't let him be the moderator because Charlie Kirk sets up these things so that Charlie Kirk is always the one who wins.
All right, guys, got Keith Edwards here in Las Vegas. Let's go, man.
Vegas, baby.
Welcome to Vegas.
It is hot.
Did you have fun last night?
I lost a lot of money, to be honest.
Definitely hot.
It is hot. It's like literally 120 degrees.
Yeah, it's always over 100 here at this time of year.
Yeah. In DC, it's hot, but not like this. Yeah.
Living in DC, what's that like? I've only been there once.
It's great. I lived in New York for 15 years. And in New York, it is a city that imposes itself on you. You cannot escape the fact that you live in New York City. It is constantly a third character in your life. DC is just a setting. It's a location, you know? DC has never ruined my day. New York City has ruined many days of mine. So it's nice to not have that, but I do think it's also a city filled with a lot of people who are just not as dynamic as New York.
I guess for what you do, it makes sense living in DC too.
Yeah. I mean, I originally wasn't doing YouTube when I moved there. I was a Democratic strategist. So I moved there for a separate reason. But now that I'm doing this, talking politics, it is great because if there's something happening at the Senate, I can just take a car to the Senate in 10 minutes, you know.
Who were you strategizing for at first?
I had worked with John Ossoff, who is the U.S. Senator from Georgia. I helped get him elected and flip the Senate. I was communications director for the Lincoln Project, which is a Republican-led organization that was committed to defeating Trump. And I've also just worked with a lot of, organizations and smaller races, helping them with digital strategy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you were against Trump for a while now, huh?
Yes. Actually, so like before this, I worked in reality TV. I was a reality TV producer. And when Donald Trump happened in 2016, I just changed careers. I just started to like volunteer locally, which sounds so naive, thinking like just trying to see what I could do to help stop him. And then it has just been incredible to be a part of organizations and help, elect people that have, definitely stopped him at points or have, stopped him from at least implementing his worst ideas.
Wow. So you were so against him, you changed industries.
Yes, literally.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now he's going at it with Newsom. Did you see the new lawsuit yesterday against California?
Well, he filed a lawsuit against
No, it
Newsom?
wasn't. That one was a Title VI one. That was different. But Newsom filed one against Trump a few weeks ago, right?
I did see that. I'm like two minds about it because one, I think it's good. We got to fight fire with fire. I think it was smart that what he did was he sued Trump for the same amount that Fox lost against Dominion for lying about the election. It's the same amount he's suing Trump. I think he's suing Trump and Fox, actually. And so I think that's smart that he's fighting fire with fire. But I also think it's also putting us closer to this edge of like the First Amendment becoming this thing that maybe we don't hold up as an ideal. Because the more and more we start to whittle away at it, it becomes an issue with whether or not we can actually say things without fear of repercussion from the government or from people within the government.
So you're big on free speech.
Yeah, I have to be.
Nice.
Because the stuff I say on YouTube, I don't want to get smacked with a lawsuit, but I also don't want the government telling me what I can and can't say.
Respect.
Yeah.
So when Elon bought X, were you pretty excited about that?
I was not actually, because the right has bastardized the meaning of the First Amendment. What they mean is we want to be able to say whatever we want to say, and we want to be able to tell you what you can and can't say. So I am all about people being able to say whatever they want. I think that companies should be able to regulate what people say on their platforms or within their companies, and that's within their jurisdiction. I am so against the government telling us what we can and can't say. So that's where I draw the line. But I don't think Elon Musk is a free speech warrior because he has also, it's been shown that he has deprioritized certain people on his platform who have critiqued him.
Yes, he's debadged people on the right too.
Yeah. Yeah, like Laura Loomer. You can actually see her engagement when she started to attack Elon and then eventually went back up when they made good. But that's not free speech. That's not free speech.
Have you faced any social media censorship on any platforms?
So on X, if you see my if you see my analytics post election, it was a huge drop off. And then within the past month, I'm back in the algorithm. I don't know what happened. I don't think Elon was like, oh, I'm going to go after Keith Edwards. I'm not that. I don't have the big of a head, but definitely there was something that happened and there has been a change.
There was a lot of censorship during the pandemic, man.
Yeah. I mean, I was not as online at that point, but I do think that, so I don't think the government should tell us what we should and should not say, but I do think that at a time when there was a pandemic, it was probably in the interest of our country that we were a little bit more stringent with what social media platforms could spread.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of misinformation at that time. And so I think that was like rightfully so, that platforms were just trying to do the best they could to stop people from dying.
Yeah. The vaccine was definitely one of them. The 2020 election was another one they were censoring. And
yeah.
I guess time will tell whether both of those are conspiracies or if they end up being true. We'll see.
Well, the 2020 election?
Yeah.
Like conspiracy? Like what? Like that Trump
like that it was
won?
stolen.
Do you think that?
I don't have enough evidence at the moment, so I'll lean towards no.
Well, I got to tell you, I don't even know how many judges have reviewed evidence from Trump and his team. It has to be at least 60. Many of whom the judges that Trump got into the judgeship, and they all said there's nothing here. All of them.
That is a lot.
So if there's any there, they've had more than enough time, money to show us. And so far, they haven't come up with anything. So with that being as it may, Donald Trump, the only person who tried to steal an election that we actually know of was Donald Trump.
Fair point. What about the Russia stuff?
What about the Russia stuff?
Well, they were painting that he was like working with them and then doing all these investigations, and now it just got released a few days ago that the former CIA guy is being criminally investigated by the FBI now.
For what?
I got to look up the exact charge, but it was criminal investigation.
Well, I think so. That the FBI just said that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the FBI is doing that because they want to do anything they can to like change the narrative against Epstein. So I don't know if there's any there for that as well, but I do think that.
Yeah, sorry. So James Comey and John Brennan are currently under criminal investigation by the Department of Justice. Yeah,
well, also you can investigate anyone. It doesn't mean they're going to find anything.
But it specifically says connected to the Trump-Russia probe. So
sure. Well, I would be interested to know what they think the crime was. You know, I do think that James Comey he's not my favorite person. But there was certainly something worth investigating around Russia. I don't know the specifics around it, but I do know that Mueller, who is a Republican through and through, even said that though they couldn't find anything, they also could not rule it out. That was the finding. Now, Bill Barr, when all that stuff came out, actually got ahead of it to say that there was no wrongdoing, no whatever. But if you actually look at the report, it's less definitive.
Okay. The Epstein stuff, obviously, you probably made a few videos on this already, but where do you side on?
I think it's amazing. I think it's awful. Epstein's awful, but I think to me, what MAGA has done is they created this monster. They created this fairy tale around Epstein and how Donald Trump is this white knight who's going to come in and expose the pedophiles that Jeffrey Epstein has shielded, who the FBI and Joe Biden and the deep state has shielded from prosecution. And it's a lot different. Republicans know this, but it's a lot different to be on the outside demanding the powerful to do something than it is to be the powerful and to get it done. And so they created this false narrative. And they really aggravated the conspiracy theorists to a point where they are now just like foaming at the mouth for a list. And Pam Bondi, stupid enough, was like, the list is on my desk. And Kash Patel, I think a year before he got into this seat, said that if the second he gets in, he's going to release it, you know? But now that they're in there, and I am sure because Donald Trump is in some way implicated in these files, they're not releasing it. And what's interesting to me is more than anything else that Donald Trump has done, cutting Medicaid, tariffs that are a tax and inflationary on the American people, trying to steal an election, more than any of that stuff, this is the thing that has created a divide and has actually really separated him from his base. And that is the thing with that is the danger in engaging in conspiracy theories, is that eventually you got to put up or shut up. And I really think there is something there. Like, I do think there's something in the files, at least from what I understand and what I read. There are definitely powerful people in there who are not being exposed for whatever reason. And my question is Donald Trump one of them? Probably.
Definitely a possibility. But you're right. This has divided the right more than anything I've seen.
Which is insane.
Yeah, more than tariffs, more than wars, more than Israel.
I think Pam Bondi will stop being attorney general because of it.
It's looking bad for her. People are wanting answers.
If you look at her social media, it's just nonstop attacks.
Oh, in the comments?
Yes.
I mean, she said it. Like, it's not like...
Well, did you hear her cover up?
No.
Or her cleanup? She was like, well, what I meant was, well, what they said is, are those files on your desk? And I said, yes, all of the files are on my desk, not the client list. And it's like, come on. And the thing is Republicans all think they have the juice. They think they can do the thing Trump does, which is just lie and bloviate. And they can't. Like, Pam Bondi tried doing the thing where she was like, well, this is what I really meant. And it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't.
People want the superpower.
People want the truth these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the Iran bombing would be like the most dividing incident. And then this happened the next week.
And interestingly, and I'm not upset about this, Donald Trump has said that he wants to help Ukraine defend itself. That's also another thing the right is very upset about. It just feels like a bizarre world that these are the things that they're upset about when, like, Ukraine, who is a country that was invaded by another country, of course, should be able to defend itself. It's a democracy. They elect their leaders. And for the United States to not help them, I think was abhorrent. And I don't know what Trump did to get to that point, but I'm glad he's there.
So you actually support that?
Yeah. I mean, I know that Trump is a charlatan and he's a con man, and he likes to do things that will get people on his side. And so I'm not saying that Donald Trump has changed. I'm not saying Donald Trump cares about Ukraine. There's obviously something he thinks about in it for him or other people he knows. I don't know what that is, but I'm just glad that Ukraine is going to at least get the help it needs to adequately defend itself.
What else have you liked from Trump in his presidency so far?
I like that he's just getting more and more orange. If you just notice, the makeup is just going insane. The crisis at the border is the border here on his face. It's just white and orange. It's insane. So I like that. I like that he's orange. And I think he has done a great job at helping Democrats look like the actual adults in the room. And so thank you, Donald Trump, for that. And I really don't know how this man is going to make it another 3.5 years. If you just watch him, he's just decomposing.
It's got to be. I mean, you've seen those before and after pictures of presidents. It's probably the most stressful job.
Well, probably not for him because he's a narcissist, sociopath. He doesn't feel stress in the way that you and I do. So I don't think that ages him, but I think he's just old. He's old as fuck. And so it's becoming more and more apparent in the way that he will just go off on tangents, in the way that he doesn't really care about his appearance. And I mean, I'm sure you saw, was it the president of Liberia he was with yesterday?
I didn't see that.
Was it Liberia? Yeah, president of Liberia. And he was like, you speak such good English. Are you educated?
I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the show a lot with the algorithm. Thank you.
The way is racist. And in Liberia, their national language is English. And if this were anyone else, not even a president, but if it were just like Angelina Jolie, we would be like, what the fuck? That's embarrassing and sad. But with him, he just gets a pass. I don't get that. I don't think he should get a pass. But for some reason, the media just walks right past it. That's why I'm glad that at least independent media exists, where we can focus on the things that legacy media are either too scared or don't want to cover.
So do you think legacy media has changed their tone with him? Because I know he sued a few of them. Like, he used to say it's fake news. Like, do you feel like they've kind of are they more nice to him? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, they're definitely handling him with kid gloves. I mean, even look at like 60 Minutes and CBS are settling the $16 million lawsuit just because they want to do a merger. I forget. I think it's Paramount and someone else. I don't really care. But $16 million. It's just a shakedown. It's a bribe. And it's just really interesting to me that it's not the most powerful people in our country who could actually stop this to some degree if they all banded together and they said, this is just not, we're not going along with this. They're not doing that. And who are actually standing up are everyday people who are like, this is not okay. And we're going to do what we can to make sure it doesn't continue. But no, I mean, CBS, CNN, they're all obviously doing what they can to not piss him off because they're afraid of either being sued or the FCC literally taking away their license.
Yeah, interesting. Because it seemed like in 2016, they weren't as afraid to go
They
after
weren't as
him.
afraid. But I think the thing with authoritarians is they, one, want to stay in power. And two, if they leave power and they find their way back to it, they have experience. They know what the guardrails are, and they know how to attack the things that prevented them the first time from achieving the power that they wanted before. And I think we're seeing that in real time, that Donald Trump, he's an idiot, but he is cunning. And he knows where the pressure points are. And he certainly is putting pressure on media, on politicians, and anyone who is preventing him from getting any source of power he wants. I mean, he is doing things that are literally unconstitutional. The tariff thing is unconstitutional. The president does not have the power to inflict tariffs in every country. It is an emergency power that is used sparingly. The only group in our country who can actually levy taxes on us or other countries is Congress. And for some reason, no one speaks up about that. But it is insane. And then there's one of the reasons why we don't allow that is because it is insane for one person to be able to have all that power.
Didn't he sign like more executive orders than anyone ever?
I don't know if it's anyone ever, but I think it's more at this point than any president has previously.
Something like that. Yeah, it was a crazy amount.
And he doesn't do it with any nod to the law or any thought about whether or not it's constitutional or illegal. He just does it and he hopes for the best. He swings for the fences, and every now and then he hits a home run. The Supreme Court is like, fine, whatever, fuck it, you can do that. And sometimes he doesn't. But that's the thing, is like he just continually expands or puts pressure in places where there hasn't been any before. And it puts us as a country in a very vulnerable position where one person has so much power and almost no oversight.
There's a few people challenging him right now. One of them's Elon. How do you see that playing out?
So here's the thing about oligarchs and dictators is that the dictator always wins. Look at Russia. This is not a new idea. Elon, and Donald Trump knows it because Donald Trump was like, oh, that's really interesting, Elon, that you want to create a new party or you want to say that I'm implicated in the Epstein files because as far as I know, you need SpaceX and you need these subsidies from electric cars. And so much of his money and wealth is tied up in government funding. And Donald Trump knows that. And so that is like something that oligarchs intrinsically usually know, is that they don't go after a dictator if they want to maintain their lifestyle and their money, because it would be very easy for Trump to fuck over Elon. And
the Tri-Light from Therisage is no joke. Medical grade red and near infrared light with 3 frequencies per light, deep healing, real results, and totally portable. It's legit. Photo biomodulation tech in a flexible on-body panel. This is the Trilite from Therasage, and it's next level red light therapy. It's got 118 high-powered polychromatic lights, each delivering 3 healing frequencies, red and near infrared, from 580 to 980 nanometers. Therasage has been leading the game for over 25 years, and this panel is FDA listed and USB powered.
And I don't know. Could he deport Elon? Maybe. But certainly Donald Trump's more likely to do it than Joe Biden ever were, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do think it's great from a entertainment perspective that Elon Musk is going after Donald Trump, and it's like 2 insane people just like attacking each other online. Sure, that's fun. But I don't think Elon Musk is going to be the winner out of this. And I do think with his new party, at least, he's going to create an opportunity to split the vote on the right if it does come to fruition and he does end up doing this. And I think it will help Democrats, at least in the short term, potentially get a majority.
It'd be interesting if he pulls off that new party, because there's never been a third party that had a good traction.
No, but I do think there's, like, I hate to say that it's smart, but I do think it's a smart idea that if we're so closely divided, that if you have 3 senators who are basically the swing vote, and if you have 10 members of Congress who aren't beholden to a party, then suddenly things get interesting, because you actually have to compromise or you have to listen to other people. So I think there's like something to that. Like, I don't think most Americans are against the idea of there being politicians that don't feel like they have to toe a party line and will actually work for compromise and to push legislation that works for the American people. I don't think that's what Elon's creating. I think he wants people who are beholden to him, not people who are looking out for Americans. But I do think it's an interesting idea when things are so divided that you actually don't need to elect that many people or win that many elections to gain a lot of power in a divided Congress.
I'm going to Charlie Kirk's event tomorrow. What do you think about him?
I think he's an unfortunate man. I think he's unfortunate looking. I think he's unfortunate. I think the way that he acts is unfortunate. There was a clip that I posted maybe a month ago where this very sweet 14-year-old girl was talking and asking him about college. I don't know why anyone's asking Charlie Kirk about college. But his answer to her was basically like, go to college. But let's be honest, you're only doing it to get married. It's like, first off, it's like kind of despicable to say, but it's also a little disturbing that like you see a 14-year-old girl and you only think about marriage.
That's a weird thing to associate with college. I wonder where he was going with that. I'd have to see that.
He says he calls it the Mrs. degree, the MRS degree. So I guess this is a thing on the right where some women say they only go to college to find a husband.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing at all.
I didn't either until I dove into it after seeing this. But that is and it's just like Charlie Kirk is the one telling young women to go to college just to not to learn. By the way, women who don't have an education are less likely to be progressive, less likely to vote Democratic. So it is in his interest for women to, get stupid and married. But it's also just like super upsetting. If you watch this clip, like this, like she's clear, like she says she wants to go into political science or she wants to be like a journalist. And then he's like, let's be honest, you just want to go to college to get married. It's like disturbing.
Would you ever go to one of his campuses and debate him?
I mean, I don't think you can debate Charlie Kirk. He's not a good faith debater. He has talking points, and then if you start to actually win, he just cuts you off. So I don't think. I mean, if it were in a situation like this, maybe
you need a moderator.
You need a moderator, but you can't let him be the moderator because Charlie Kirk sets up these things so that Charlie Kirk is always one who wins.
It is a good setup, I will admit, because he's got the people cheering for him. He's got security with him. He's got it. Like, I'd be a little intimidated.
There's a lot of power because it's like he's the one sitting down. You're going to the mic.
Right. You're vulnerable. You're standing.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of psychology behind that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. What about Vance? Because there's talks he's going to run in 28. What do you think about him?
Vance does not have the juice. I think JD Vance is a very lucky man. I think JD Vance should really think about Mike Pence and like how Mike Pence ended up. I will say like with all these people, Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., they all think that like there's like a Trump wave that they can ride. But Trump isn't a wave. He's a riptide. You can't ride him. He pulls you under. And that's been clear with everyone who has supported him, is eventually Donald Trump is your destroyer, not your maker.
That's a good point, because if you look back at a lot of people he's associated with, worked with in the past, they kind of disappear, fade into existence. Some of them get locked up. There's a lot of examples.
It's very rare for someone, except for his children, to have like a long career and be someone who has worked closely with Donald Trump. It's a very rare thing.
Wonder what it is about him.
I do wonder what that is. I mean, I think it's just that he's a sociopath narcissist and he uses people until they're no longer useful and then he gets rid of them. And I also think he's just not an easy person to be around. I think he can be very charming, at least from people who I know, reporters who have been close to him. He can be charming, so I understand the allure. But and he is very powerful. He's the president of the United States, and he was a Hollywood celebrity. So I understand that. But from what I understand too, is that he's also just like a nightmare.
Yeah.
To be around.
Yeah, I'd imagine as a billionaire, you got to be pretty cutthroat and put emotions to the side a lot of the times.
Yeah, or not. But at least with him, I do think he's a narcissist.
Yeah.
So
you gonna join Donald Trump Jr.'s new membership club in DC?
I'm not. No, I wouldn't want to do anything else.
$500K a year.
I mean, I wouldn't want to do anything else besides that. Yeah, is it $500K?
$500K.
Yeah.
Mar-a-Lago's $2 million a year.
Wow,
nuts,
crazy.
Right?
It's nuts. It's nuts. There's just and apparently MAGA is the party of the working class. You know, I think that is probably one of the biggest failures Democrats have had, is that we have allowed that to happen. We have allowed, like, Obama, I think, won the working class vote by like 60%, you know? And now we have, I think it's like Trump who is pulling that margin.
Wow.
You know? So there's been a huge change. But the thing is these things happen very quickly. You know, Obama was in 2008. I guess maybe for some of your viewers, that's going to sound like a long time ago. In actuality, it's not. In like the lifespan of politics, that's not a long time. So these things can switch back. And I do think with social media, people are more able to maybe be exposed to different ideas. But I do think that is one of the things that Democrats have done poorly, is that we have aligned ourselves with billionaires and moneyed interests, when really we should just be the party defending and fighting for the working class.
Yeah. I grew up working class, middle class, and there's a lot of pain in that class right now.
Yes,
it's very hard to live.
Yes, no, I know. I mean, I you know, my family does not come from money in the slightest, and I remember, you know, I just remember moments where like my dad had like $20 and he was trying to figure out how to make the $20 pay for gas and also food, you know? And there is a lot of anxiety in not having. And anyone that speaks to that, and Donald Trump has a way of talking to that candidly. He doesn't have the right solutions, but he has a way of speaking about it in a way that I think people think he's not lying, that he like understands their pain. And there is a lot of pain right now in America when it comes to how much money they don't have.
Yeah, I mean, it's really expensive to live right now, dude. The house I grew up in, I just looked it up on Zillow. It's like almost $1 million now. Yeah.
I mean, I think wages have gone up like since in the 1980s, they've gone up like 3 times, but then like the cost of housing has gone up like 6 times.
Jeez.
So it's just, there's no way to build a society. You know, I just think there has been a huge failure on both sides of the aisle in actually protecting and lifting up working class and middle class Americans.
It could even get worse, because let's say even if they do raise the minimum wage, with AI, companies are just going to replace those guys.
Yeah, but I think AI is a huge opportunity too. I mean, I don't think AI should be this boogeyman. I mean, I do think we need to figure out a way to regulate it. But you know, I'm sure with you,
I use it daily.
Yeah, I use it all the time. And it has actually increased my ability to be productive. And I think we should be figuring out how to be like, what are the next 10 years going to look like? How do we train and prepare America for an AI revolution?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know what the answer is to that. I am just a YouTuber, but I do think those are the questions we should ask. Instead of being afraid of it, we should consider, all right, well, how do we make it so that we are actually the ones who benefit the most from it, and that we can get the most jobs in this country and people working with it rather than against it.
Agreed. Yeah, it's helped me make more money, make more business for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it helps me every day.
I was upset when certain schools were banning it, honestly.
Were they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, I think we still have to have, like, students still need to learn how to, like, write and formulate ideas. But I think there's some professors that are like, use it, but it can't do all the work for you. You know,
Yeah.
and I think that's how it should be moving forward. It's just a tool. You know, it can't be the full thing. Like, if you try to create a video using only AI, it would be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But if you use it a little bit to help enhance what you're already doing, I do think it's an awesome tool. Yeah. But students can benefit from it, you know, and I do think workers would be able to too.
100%. Did you go to a public school?
I went to public school.
What was your experience? Was it good?
I think I was probably like the last like cohort of people who can actually benefit from public school. I don't have kids. I don't know how it is now, but I can't imagine it's gotten better with the way that we have continued to fund billionaires and take away money from investing in our students. So I am very grateful for my public school education. And, you know, I do think that a lot of people who are successful, they think it's all because of them. You know, I don't think I would be sitting across from you right now if not for the investments that people who never even knew I was going to exist made in order for me to just have an opportunity to possibly achieve something greater than people who came before me did. So I am so incredibly grateful for public school and any investments we make in this country that help uplift people, because it's like one of the greatest investments we can make. You know, think about like the return investment that this country has received because people like me got a public school education, you know, did something pretty okay with themselves, and now, you know, and the country itself benefits from that. And so I don't know why we don't do everything we can to uplift people, because it is just like this, like, it is just it's an investment. It is an investment. Interesting.
Yeah, I went to public school. I can't say what I learned there applies to my life right now.
Well, I think I do think that like your public school is just meant to introduce you to many different things. You know, do I use algebra? No. but I was introduced to drama and singing, and there's many friends I met. And so it's just like, it gives you a taste of like what your future could look like. And it gives you a better sense of where you might want to go. And so you might not think you've benefited from it, but I am sure that there are things that you experienced from school and learned you still use today.
Probably. Yeah, I took a lot of electives, and there was a media class, so maybe I learned some stuff there.
Yeah, also, like, I mean, you're writing right now. Like, did you learn to write from your parents?
You got me on that one. But I'll say this, because there's a growing trend towards homeschooling, especially on the right. They want the Department of Education removed. If I have kids right now, I probably would not send them to public school.
Well, see, that's how this works. They stop investing in it. It gets worse. They say that this is awful. You have to get rid of it. And then you're saying, well, I actually think if I had kids, I would homeschool them. I think what we should do is, why can't our North Star be, I want public education to be the best education anyone in the world can get here in America? Why can't that be the North Star? Rather than, we have to get rid of it, it's terrible. Why can't we create something that we think lives up to the ideals of what America should be? And I agree. I think public school isn't great right now, but I think that's by design, because anything that uplifts working class folks and makes people more aware of their world is bad for conservatism, you know? So I do think that it is in their best interest, conservatives, to defund public school. And they've been pretty successful at that. But I think, again, one of the best investments we could make is by creating an opportunity, a place of opportunity for children who might not get it anywhere else. Like, would Steve Jobs exist? Would he have existed if he were in, I don't know, Cambodia? He was born in Cambodia. No, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so being born here, we're very lucky. But I think part of that luck is that we had people who came before us who wanted to make investments that would make it so that the next Steve Jobs would be possible.
I could see that. Yeah, I'm grateful for that. You know, I didn't know better at the time. There was no other options. I think homeschooling was just starting. But yeah, you know, I went to Rutgers, lasted a year, didn't make it the whole way. But.
Yeah, I mean, I went to like community school for like 6 months and I never got a college degree. I do think college is totally different. I think college is great for some people in some professions. I do think that what we have right now can be scamish. It feels like, you know, they're more interested in getting money than they are in educating people. And we have this really awful system where school costs a lot, but in order to supposedly have a career, you've got to invest in yourself. But then we have these kids who then come out of college with like hundreds of thousands of debt. That's no way to create a society, next generation workers or so yeah, I do think that college is totally different. But,
wow.
Yeah.
So you agree with Charlie Kirk on something?
Does he think that too?
He believes college is a scam.
I mean, okay, well, yeah, we agree on that because I don't know if I would say college writ large is a scam. I think there's a lot of scamming happening associated with college.
Right. Especially like $50K a year tuitions.
Yeah. I mean, or yeah, $50K tuitions is insane and not necessary. But but the government has kind of allowed it to happen in a way because I believe we back a lot of these student loans. So colleges are just basically like, oh, daddy has always got the money. So why don't we raise the prices? You know, so I think there is a bit of like a self-fulfilling prophecy with that. But I do think that a lot of colleges aren't really interested in giving students a good education. They're just interested in getting a good amount of their money.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out because Trump's cutting, I think, I saw Harvard, he was cutting their, I don't know how much
their endowment.
Yeah, something like that.
Or whatever it is. Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's also highly illegal. He shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Oh, you don't think he should do that?
No. No, do you think the president should be able to decide what colleges teach?
What they teach?
Yeah, that's what this is about.
That's what it's about, the endowment?
Yeah, what Trump is doing is really about saying you have to act and teach the exact way I want, and if you don't, we're taking away your funding.
Really?
Do you think the president should have that power?
No, when you put it like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the true meaning of cutting that. But
yes.
Okay.
It's not for any other reason than they are doing things that Trump doesn't agree with.
Interesting. Yeah, no, he shouldn't have power over what universities teach.
No president should.
Yeah, that's pretty
Imagine
insane.
if Biden did that.
Yeah. How do you think Biden did in his term overall?
Overall, I think he passed a lot of great legislation. I think he communicated terribly about it. I think if Donald Trump actually had the legislative agenda Biden did, we would not have heard the end of it because Donald Trump has done nothing and it seems like he's done so much. Whereas Biden did a lot, and I feel like people don't understand exactly what he did. And also like just the way that they passed some of these bills, like it's going to be 10 years for some of this stuff to happen. Like I think there is like billions and billions and billions of dollars in creating the next generation of charging networks in this country for cars, which is great. You know, I do think we have to eventually get off fossil fuels. We have to. And that is going to be, it's like a 10-year process. Why couldn't they have made that a 3-year process? You know, where is the like, I feel like, why don't we have enough people who are like, we need this now? And I think that's one of the failures of the Biden administration is that they were governing as if it were the 90s. And we have to make things fast. And we also have to let people know the good work we're doing. And ideally, the stuff you pass today is affecting people within a year. because one, it's better. You want people to feel the impacts of the good legislation you pass, but two, also it's politically good.
Right. I agree with that. I think the government, not even just Biden, they always take their time,
It's too slow. And,
I wonder what ways can, like Doge tried to quicken things, I guess, but I don't know.
I mean, it's so much easier to destroy a building than it is to make one. So Doge is, I guess, masterful in destroying buildings, but they did it without any intention or thought. And I certainly know people who have been impacted by the Doge cuts, and it was done without any intention. And I think we are all actually less safe because of it.
I met one yesterday, my Uber driver.
Oh, yeah?
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you see these numbers online, you don't put faces to them. Mm-hmm. And then you just start meeting people that have been doged. And it's like, damn, that guy's life just got
And for why? I think, and it's one of those things like government in some ways should be invisible. Government, because you never think to yourself, like it's never a story like, wow, every plane landed on time and without exploding today. But that's not because of anyone else but the government. Because the government, the FAA has regulations that ensures that planes are safe to fly. They impact air traffic control. So, and that's just one thing. The government does so much to make sure that we are as safe as possible in this country. And I think that's one of the things that Elon accidentally exposed, is that the government can actually be good, though.
Yeah.
So I think these cuts have been detrimental, but my hope is that it also gets an opportunity for us to say, yeah, the government is invisible, but that's by design, because we don't want to be thinking about how maybe that flood that happened in Texas, like what if they were fully funded? Like would all those kids have died? I don't know, but I think like we should not have to ask those questions. Like we are the wealthiest nation in the country. There's no reason why we can't put pennies of a fraction of our budget into ensuring that that all these different areas of our government are fully funded. Because everything that Doge did was superficial. It didn't actually move the needle on the debt, which, by the way, is a problem. The debt is a huge problem.
Big problem.
It's a big problem. But what Doge did was not going to impact that, and actually has probably made it so that we are paying in other ways.
That's scary. Yeah, because a lot of people were really excited that we would be able to get a debt down from Doge, but we'll see how it plays out.
I mean, we're not. I think they cut $200 billion, maybe. It was supposed to be $2 trillion.
Is that a year?
$200 billion. No, I think that's in total.
Oh, total.
And they just raised the debt by $3 trillion, $5 trillion with this latest bill. Jeez. So I'm not really good at math, but that doesn't seem like a net gain.
The big beautiful bill.
Yeah.
That one just passed, right?
It did just pass. Yes.
So when does that take effect?
We'll see. Smartly, they are the worst parts of the bill don't happen until I think 26, 27. So after the midterms. And that's when a lot of the Medicaid cuts are going to happen. But the tax stuff will happen sooner. And so like up until $25,000, I believe, folks who make money from tips can deduct that. But that's temporary. It's not forever.
Which is good for Vegas, by the way.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's whatever. But also healthcare, if you get your money from the exchanges, is going to be going up next year.
So I already pay so much for healthcare, health insurance.
Most people do. I don't think anyone's happy with their healthcare.
No,
no one. It's one of the biggest expenses, and I mean, I pay for healthcare. I've never used it. I've used
it once for like an X-ray.
Yeah, I don't use it. So we are paying. So even if taxes are superficially lowered, we're still paying more in other ways. Like if we just had some sort of healthcare solution provided by the government, which hopefully we all agree now can be good, we would actually all be paying less, and we would be a healthier society.
Did you like Medicaid? Did you like the previous health systems?
I think it's like the best solution we have right now, like Medicaid and Medicare. I think those are ideas we can build on. I don't think they're perfect.
Mhm.
No government program is, but certainly a program where we can make sure that people don't die just because they're poor is one worth saving.
Even if you have money, did you see what happened to Ben Askren?
No.
So he's a
Who is that?
he's a UFC fighter. You probably don't watch UFC.
I'm
right?
in totally different niche.
Yeah. So basically, he got pneumonia. It was really bad. Like he had to get a double lung transplant. Insurance wouldn't cover. And this guy's like probably a millionaire. You know what I mean? But like he can't afford it out of pocket because it's really most expensive procedure out there.
Yeah. So imagine how like a CVS worker.
Yeah. So they had to use social media to fund it. But yeah, imagine an average person.
Yes.
They're dead.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Dead.
And that's where people are at right now.
And I mean, I don't know, maybe this is an extreme idea, but I just don't think anyone should die just because they're poor.
It would suck to die that way, honestly.
It's
because in a different country.
It's dehumanizing.
Yeah, because in a different country, they might survive.
They would survive.
But they live in America.
Yes.
So it sucks.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm paying $1,000 a month and I'm getting one X-ray every 4 years.
Probably not the worst either.
Yeah. Well, I get a really good one apparently, but.
Is it through the exchange?
I don't know. Some guy got it for me. So
it might be.
Probably.
It will probably go up next year.
Jeez.
Because people are going to be getting off of Medicaid too. And so that's just going to increase everyone else's premiums.
Dude, it's just so many, like the interest rate on my house is 8%. Most people cannot afford that.
Well, that's where the debt comes in because the debt is inflationary because that impacts I forget what it's called, but it does impact the way that the percentages on our debt on mortgages and car loans and that sort of thing. So that's where the debt comes into play. And that's where I think people don't really think about it, is that it does impact how much we spend on loans.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I don't know how people are able to live. Like it's mind blowing how expensive it is to live right now in America.
It is incredibly expensive and it's only going to get worse. And this bill does not help. The biggest thing Donald Trump probably was elected for was immigration and cost of living. And yes, he has done something about immigration. I totally disagree with it, but he's doing something about it. Cost of living, he's made it worse, incredibly worse. With tariffs and this bill, people are going to have less money and things are going to be more expensive. That's true. It's a true statement because of Donald Trump.
That's scary because tariffs were supposed to do the opposite.
Well, no, they weren't. They were never supposed to do the opposite.
In his eyes, I guess.
In his eyes, yes. But he says a lot of things aren't true. This happens to be one of the biggest ones. And he still thinks it. Like he said the other day, well, China's going to be paying a lot, or China pays a lot for tariffs. So blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, they don't. We do. Have you gotten a tariff bill at all in anything you bought?
I feel like I have actually.
Yeah. Who paid for that? Was that China?
No, it was my credit card.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah. So, and that's a tax, by the way, the government gets.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
The government gets that money.
Interesting.
From you. So Donald Trump taxed you.
Interesting. I had someone on yesterday. He's a luxury car dealer. He said he can't operate his business anymore because of tariffs.
Yeah.
Because the cars are like, basically what they're paying for tariffs is the profit he used to make. So he can't make money anymore selling cars.
Yeah, and the fact that it's happening so haphazardly too, where it's also just made it an environment where businesses just don't feel like they can invest in America in the way they used to.
He's trying to move manufacturing here, right?
I mean, he's trying to, yeah. But is that a job? Here's my thing: is I think there's this quote from a comedian. I forget Dave Chappelle, perhaps. But he says, I don't want to buy Nikes. I don't want to be the one who makes Nikes. I want to be the one who buys them. And I think that's true. Like, why can't we just be the country that is wealthy and buys the hard work from other people? And we have a country of people who are well trained and don't have to sit in factories every day to make a living. Like, I don't think that should be like our North Star. It's like bringing back jobs here that are actually, not great to work.
You have to pay a lot more too.
Yeah.
So as a business owner, like I see that perspective also of wanting to save money. And I've outsourced stuff to other countries. I got editors in like Pakistan, India and stuff. If I were to hire those same editors here, I would be unprofitable.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a real thing. But again, like we should aspire to have jobs better than making iPhones in this country.
Yeah, I don't think that's too hot of a take. I think the one thing is like the sweatshop environment that people have a problem with, but I agree with you for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, I do think, I think manufacturing is like, is something that is going to become more and more automated. So it also is not something we can rely on either.
No, I mean, look at Amazon. I think they fired a bunch of the people packing orders.
Oh, really?
They replaced them with AI.
Yeah, robots.
So that's going to be the future of manufacturing.
Yeah. And like FedEx, I'm sure, is waiting for the day that they don't have to hire people to deliver packages. Like I'm sure that's all heading this way.
Yeah.
So we have to invest in other areas.
Yeah.
And prepare the next generation of Americans to be able to survive and thrive.
You said you didn't support what Trump's doing with immigration.
No.
What do you have a problem with?
Well, there's so many things. I think the biggest one is the fact that he said he was going to go after criminals and rapists and gang members. That's not what's happening. We have masked officers in America wearing plain clothes, going to Home Depots. And what's interesting about the fact they're going to Home Depot, what does that mean? It means these are people who have either work or are looking for work. These aren't people who are a detriment to our society. These are people who are doing what they can to make a life for themselves. And by the way, they're contributing to the economy. These are not criminals. And they are tearing people apart. And that's not what he ran on. He ran on getting rid of criminals and rapists and gang members, which I think we can all agree on. But that doesn't equal to like, I think 3,000 people a day is what they want to do. And so, I think it's appalling, the images we see of masked officers arresting people without a warrant, without identifying themselves, and without due process. That's not America. It's not what America used to be, but that is what it is today under Trump. And it should be terrifying to anyone, whether you agree with Trump or not, because if he can do that to them, what's stopping him from doing it to you or me or anyone watching this?
Yeah, there was something about birthright citizens he just removed or something I saw.
Well, he didn't remove it, but he's trying to make it so that birthright citizenship, which by the way is in the Constitution, this is what I'm talking about, where he just swings for the fences and just hopes that some of these things will work out. It's an executive order. Executive orders are not, they're not creeds from a king. They are, they're not even laws, and so he can't get rid of birthright citizenship as much as he wants to. It's in the Constitution. It's very clear. They're trying to say that it actually had to do with slaves and, making slaves citizens. It's not what it says. The English in that amendment is very plain. So he can try as hard as he wants, but that is one of the fundamental things about our country, is that if you're born here, you're an American. It's one of the beautiful things about our country too, is that, and it used to be, is that being an American is an idea. It is actually not something that you are inherently born with and you can never have. Like I can never become a French person, I can never become a German or a Chinese person. But someone from China, from France or Germany could move, used to be able to move here and could become an American. That was the beautiful thing about this place.
Right.
And he's kind of destroyed that a little bit.
Yeah. We might have to fact check this, but I saw something like Obama deported more people than Trump.
I think that's right. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's true today, but I think that was for sure true in his first term.
Yeah. And people paint Trump as like this mass deporter, but he's not putting up the numbers he said.
Well, he's not deporting them either. He's arresting them. He's not getting rid of them. He's arresting them, and he built alligator Alcatraz.
Saw that.
Which is disturbing to say the least. And
he wanted to bring back Alcatraz.
Yes, too. Yeah. And I think it's like $400 million.
Yeah, I saw that.
And growing for alligator Alcatraz? Like, I mean, if let's just suppose that migrants are a huge strain on our economy. Is the solution a $400 million investment in keeping them occupied? I don't understand that, you know? And also Donald Trump says that there are two ideas that had to exist in order for Donald Trump to exist. And it's one, the border is completely secure. He says that all the time. The border's never been more secure. But two, that we are basically, there's an infestation of immigrants.
20 million.
Like, how can it be both?
Yeah.
It's either there's a problem or he solved it. But he tries to have it both ways.
Yeah, I remember they were throwing around that 20 million number for a
which
while.
Is insane. I mean, Laura Loomer said there's 65 million.
65?
That's what she said. That's not true. It's not true.
That's hard to believe.
Well, it actually turns out to be the size of the Latino population.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think I know some illegals, and yeah, I think it'd be kind of inhumane to deport all of them.
Yeah, and he's allowed to deport them now to places that aren't even like their home country.
Really?
Yeah, the Supreme Court just ruled that.
Whoa.
Yes.
I didn't see that.
Yes.
I know this amnesty thing is a big deal too. That we're talking about right now.
Yes.
That would be expensive.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I mean, talking about things that are a rift in MAGA is that he basically, this is where like there's a push and pull with him, is that his donors are wealthy billionaires. They need cheap labor. And so they're like, come on, Trump, you can't like get rid of all of our cheap labor. And so like last week he was like, well, we actually have to look out for farmers. But Charlie Kirk and Steve Bannon are really upset, and they're calling it an amnesty because he was saying that there has to be some system where people like that can work in our country.
Wow, I haven't seen Charlie go against Trump before.
Oh yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, well, he wasn't a direct but it was basically he was going after the donors. He was basically saying it's the donors who decided it.
Okay,
but it's his roundabout way of going after Trump. Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
So, what do you think the biggest, I guess, threat or enemies to America are right now that people should be focused on?
I think probably the Republican Party.
Really?
Yes.
You think it's that bad?
It's really bad. Yes.
Wow.
I think when you're in it, it's hard to know how deep you are, but we have a person who is continually doing unconstitutional things. We have a Republican Party completely unwilling to be a check on him, and in some ways endorses his worst behavior. And that is a system that cannot maintain a democracy. So our biggest enemy is ourselves right now.
Wow. Because you used to be Republican, right?
No.
Oh, no?
No, I've always been a Democrat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I have that in my notes.
Yeah.
ChatGPT messed up.
I think it's because I work for the Lincoln Project.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must have misunderstood that one.
Yeah.
Damn, the biggest enemy is Republicans. I've never heard that answer.
Well,
I've heard China, I've heard, Russia, I've heard Israel a lot lately.
Well, only one group in this world has tried to overthrow one of our elections, and that is Donald Trump by way of his supporters. So I don't know. I wish this weren't true. I wish that we were able to kind of argue about the discrepancies of a tax bill rather than, whether or not elections should be free and fair.
Yeah.
But I do think that the Republican Party as it stands now is not one that believes in what the Constitution stands for.
Do you ever see the two parties getting along? Ever in our lifetime, I guess?
There's going to have to be some, I don't know what it's going to be, but we are basically, there's going to be some sort of moment that happens where I do think the January 6th could have been it. I think one of the problems with January 6th is that, though I do believe like someone died, like imagine if Mike Pence were to have died or Nancy Pelosi, God forbid. I think that day would have looked a lot different, but it was very close. That was very close to happening. But I do think there will have to be some sort of reckoning in this country with the extremism that we are currently experiencing.
I agree, because I think in order to grow, you need some unity, right? Can't always be fighting each other.
Yeah, and I do think most Americans want that. They want unity. I don't think Donald Trump is ever going to be a unifying figure. And I do think that we have to find a way to live together, you know? I go after Republicans a lot in my content, but it's not really Republicans. It's just Trump. It's Trump and everything he stands for. But I think there is so much room for different types of beliefs in this country, but we all have to believe in the same thing, which is that one, we have freedom of speech in this country, and you shouldn't be able to tell me what I can say, and I shouldn't be able to say it. That's not something Donald Trump believes in. We also should, the winners of elections are the winners of elections. That's not what Donald Trump believes in. So, and there's many more examples. So it is a scary thing to think that someone like that is at the highest part, or the highest office in our country.
Okay, thanks for your time, man. Where could people support you and find you?
I don't even know anymore. Like, is X even good?
I don't use X that much.
I don't know. You can just search my name, YouTube. You can subscribe me on YouTube. Do
Perfect. That. We'll link it. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks
I'll set up
me.
a debate with you and Charlie Kirk next time.
I will.
I'll moderate that.
All right.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.